Did a Shinto priest assistant really see two kami enter the shrine on that warm, fine day? Or were they just happy ghosts joyriding in a Cadillac? Are bananas really that radioactive? And why is purple hair so hard to maintain? We attempt to answer these questions and more on today's episode of Homespun Haints. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Homespun Haints. I'm Becky.
And I'm Diana.
And today we have a guest who is not in Florida.
Oh, thank goodness.
But this is somebody I know personally, and I met him in Florida.
What?
So
wait. Why is Florida such a hub for everybody that we know and end up interacting with? My goodness. Just because we both lived there for a chunk of our lives.
Well, there you go. Well, we lived there. We had the opportunity to live there, and it's so fucking weird. So, Diana, are you afraid of clowns?
I wasn't, and then we just went and saw It Too last week, and now I am. I can solidly say, yes, I am afraid of clowns now.
Clowns scare the shit out of me. Not much scares me. Like, ghosts don't scare me. Demons, yeah, I'm on the fence. Clowns, holy shit, clowns scare the shit out of me. Well, so I don't know if you ever saw this guy when you were living there, but there is a clown. He appears in this particular area of Florida, along the coast on the Gulf side, and his name is Wrinkles, the clown.
Wrinkles.
So you can call Wrinkles. He'll come scare your kids for you.
Oh.
See him in the distance. He holds balloons just like Pennywise. He's freaky as hell. And
can we post a picture in the comments?
Oh, yes. There will be pictures. There's a documentary coming out on October 4th about Wrinkles. It's going to be available in select theaters and on demand on iTunes. So I've gotten my hands on an item of Wrinkles merchandise that is signed. Yes, I'm very excited about this. And we are going to give it away.
To a listener?
Well, so not just to a listener.
Oh.
There's several steps you have to go through if you want to be entered in a chance to win this. If you go to our website at homespunhaints.com/contest, you sign up for our mailing list, which is going to be launching around Halloween. We are going to start having a Homespun Haints newsletter. So if you go and sign up for that, you will be entered into a chance to win this very exclusive Wrinkles signed item. I love the shock. I love
spooky.
The shock. Yes, it is spooky. It's spooky, yes, because clowns are freaky as fuck.
And this is a non-fictional clown. This is
a real clown, yes.
Yeah. I don't even know what that means, real clown, but
well, he's like a real creepy clown. Like, I mean, I guess there's real like clowns that aren't supposed to be creepy, but this guy is creepy. I cannot wait for this documentary to come out. If you go to homespunhaints.com/contest, enter your email address, you'll be entered for a chance to win. Well, speaking of weird shit, we have a really exciting guest on today. We have Tim, who is joining us from Seattle. Hi, Tim.
Hi.
Ooh. Hi.
Hi.
That's okay, pretty good.
My front-facing camera is destroyed because my screen is broke. So I have a crazy setup of a mirror looking at me from the back camera. So I can kind of see you guys. But...
That's clever.
Is your hair purple?
Yeah, it's pinky, purple, blue. I was going for like really dark purple, and then it started to change to like pink and blue.
Purple does that. Purple kind of evolves. It looks great. I love it.
I like to be colorful.
We both had purple hair at some point in our lives.
Oh, everybody, right?
Yes.
I've lived in Seattle for 10 years now, and everybody has had every hair color. It's hard to keep track.
Tim, tell us a little bit about what you do for a living.
Right now, I work at the headquarters for Amazon in downtown Seattle, and throughout the city they have several banana stands where full-time you give free bananas to anyone who wants one. And that's what I do. I hand bananas to people for free all day, every day. There's a couple New York Times articles about how we single-handedly sort of crashed the fruit market in downtown Seattle, inadvertently. But yeah, I tend to get drawn to unique and strange occupations, and right now I give out free bananas, about 8,000 a day.
Oh,
Are we allowed to
True.
ask why you give out bananas?
Yeah, it's sort of their idea about being part of the community downtown. A lot of people in a hurry during the day, and it's one of the most densely nutritious things that you can just grab and eat. It's just really easy. It doesn't bruise as easy as apples.
Nice.
right.
Something like
You
that,
don't have
yeah.
to wash it. It stays. You
Yeah,
don't
we
have to
didn't have to
refrigerate it.
even go get a food permit handler's recertification or anything. You can just hand a banana
Really?
to someone. Oh yeah, it's a banana. What are you gonna do?
So, does that make you a banista?
Banista, that's my official job title on my paychecks. I am a banista. So every day we have to write a new banana fact on a board. I can talk to you about isopentyl acetate and like ethylene gas. And humidity doesn't really affect bananas, but you have
Oddly,
to have a
I
lot
just
of,
knew all those banana facts already, but
yeah.
I'm pre-qualified if you're hiring. I kind of
And I
sort of
know,
live in a
again,
van, so I can do it anywhere.
you could give out free bananas anywhere you wanted to, really.
Just need to.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
Whoa, Tim! Ah, we lost you.
Somebody texted me and it buzzed my phone off the table. Sorry. Okay, how was that? Is that okay?
Cool.
I have heard from multiple people that you have a very, very interesting story. Not necessarily scary, but quite interesting about something that happened to you in one of your many interesting previous jobs. It would be great if you can tell us. Sorry, my door just opened on its own. That was creepy.
Oh, signs, importance, premonitions.
It would be awesome if you can tell us a little bit about what you were doing, what your job was at the time, and give us as many details as possible, and then just tell us what happened.
It was about 2005. I had been involved in some independent research into archaic Japanese texts. I found these super fascinating. There wasn't a lot of sources online to find out English translations, terms, meanings, archaic symbolism, all that sort of stuff that I was really interested in. So I tried to find people who were in that very specific field, and I found that in the United States, there's only one fully functioning Shinto shrine in the world outside of Japan, and that was here in Washington, up in Snohomish County in Granite Falls. And the priest there was really active online, answering questions. Back in 2005, it was like Yahoo groups or something. We conversed a whole lot. If anybody's not really familiar with Japanese religion, Buddhism came to Japan, 6th, 7th, 8th century AD. Before that, there was Shinto, which is the sort of native religion, deals with things like kami, spirits that inhabit objects, people. It's thousands and thousands of years old. These days, there's places that have combined the two, and there's a lot of history involved that is very complicated. But in any case, there had never been something like this outside of Japan in the entire world in all of history. So eventually, conversing with a priest, they needed someone to come and live and work at the shrine called a shokuin, which kind of is like a shrine assistant, how you would say acolyte, apprentice to the priest. And no one had ever done it really before. The people who were his assistants before were actually junior priests. So it was really a unique thing. He invited me to come and stay there for a year and do all the stuff that's involved in living at a Shinto shrine, I suppose. That's how that started.
So you were working in the shrine.
Right. There's a lot of stuff that I had to do. It's like a 16-hour day, 7-day a week thing. It doesn't close, it doesn't stop except for at night. A lot of my duties would be washing up, gardening, conducting people in for like prayers, doing something called misogi, which is every morning at 6:30 a.m. you would just wear a loincloth called a fundoshi and a headband called a hachimaki, and the priest would do this very ancient ritual that has roots thousands of years ago, with salts and sake in this river, and you would get in the water, and you say this sort of purification thing. That's how you start your day. Every single day is to purify yourself before you do these things. So it's a lot of stuff. There's weddings, there's people who come in for exams who want like blessings and purifications. There's people who bring their cars and drive them up to the front. Priest purifies their new car. In Japan, typically, if you open a new business, you have a groundbreaking ceremony, and your local priest will come and bless that for good fortune for your business. But since he was basically the only one in the whole United States, if a Toyota factory opened in Texas, he would have to go down there because he's the local guy, you know?
So something happened while you were there.
Right. So there's several deities, kami, that are enshrined at this place. There's Amaterasu, which is the sun goddess. There's Sarutehiko no Kami and Ame no Uzume no Mikoto. And those two kami are the sort of deities of wedding, marriage. Like I said, this place is the only really full functioning Shinto shrine in the country. And so a lot of people from Seattle who are Japanese would come to have weddings. There's an entrance area called a sando before you get into a house or a shrine. But on the left, there's a kitchen. You prepare things like tea for guests. Inside the kitchen, there's a stairway that goes up, and there's a reception room, like a tatami room, and the office of the priest and some other stuff. If people are formally visiting a shrine, they come up, they have tea with the priests, they give a donation to the shrine for the services that they do. Oftentimes we would have kekonshiki, weddings, and that was a big deal. You would prepare days beforehand. You would have to set up everything. There's certain vessels that you use ritualistically that you don't ever use otherwise. It's a big deal. So one day I'm in the kitchen washing dishes, and there's a long gravel road that comes from the actual main road down through the woods to where the actual shrine buildings are. You can hear cars crunching gravel for the whole quarter mile. So I'm sitting there washing dishes in the kitchen on the first level, and I hear a car coming, hear it crunching. It was a lazy day. There wasn't much going on. A Wednesday. Sometimes curious people come. They want to know, like, well, hell, what the hell is this thing out here in the middle of the woods? I ain't never seen nothing like that before. That happens once a day. So I hear this car. It's coming down this gravel path, fork, and it's this tan Cadillac. And it goes in front, and there's a little parking area, and this place is laid out. There's a huge bend in a river. There's only one path all the way down. You can't get in or out at all. It's way in the middle of the woods, except for this one long gravel thing. And I'm thinking, okay, sure, it's some randos who come by sometimes to be like, wow, look at this place. And I hear crunch, 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 people walking. And I look through the entrance, and I see a couple in full on, ready to walk down the aisle, Japanese wedding gear. The groom has on this haori. The bride has on this thing called a shiromuku, which is the full-on Japanese headdress, wedding dress, everything. It's like it's absolutely insane to me, because I'm like, oh no, this was not on my calendar. And they're holding hands, and they're smiling, and they're walking up this thing, and I'm just looking out the window holding this teacup going, oh fuck. Because if you mess up that sort of thing, it's not good. So I'm just on full on, oh my god, panic mode. Something went wrong. Something went wrong. Something went very, very wrong. These people are here. The scheduling is oh no, oh no, no. So they walk in to the front entrance. They come into the kitchen where the stairway is up to the tatami room, reception room with the priest. And they look at me, and they bow and they smile, and they go up the stairs. And so I think, okay, maybe this isn't so bad. maybe they're doing a dress rehearsal and they're here for a meeting with the priest about the donation that they would like to give, the plans, whatever, but just happen to be wearing the clothes too. I don't know. I was in panic mode. I was trying to hope for the best. Basically, what happens is when anyone goes up to receive them, I make tea. There's really good tea for big things like this. There's cheaper tea for random people who show up. So I get the best tea, and I instantly, I'm making 3 cups of tea because they're obviously here to see the priest. He's upstairs, he's in his office, they're going up there. And again, I saw these people as clear as any other person you'd ever see walking in a door that you see every day. So I make 3 cups of tea, and I'm like, okay, all right, I hope this goes okay. And I go up the stairs, and I bring it up, and I turn around, and the priest is sitting there at his desk, and he goes, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Look at the people that are up here. They just came up here. They're right here. They just came. This is what, yeah." And I'm holding this tray, trying to explain, and he goes, "What the hell are you doing?" This is the thing. The people, they got it with the car, the whole thing, and completely disappeared. No car, no people, no sound going up the driveway. You would have heard it. There's only one way in, gravel. Just all evaporated. That was that.
Whoa.
So what was
Totally
the priest's
nuts.
explanation? Because surely you told the priest what happened.
Well, yeah. And he thought about it. He was like, "Are you sure?" So I relayed the whole event. He's like, well, and at first he's like, "Oh shit, where are they? Oh no!" He's like, "There's," he's like going through his calendar, like, oh, wait. Then we finally, established there was no one there. He thought about it for a while. Shrines are based on this daily purification, this dispelling of badness, this dispelling of dark things. And he said, well, nothing bad can get in here. So they had to be good, right? And because that shrine sort of is host to the god and goddess of marriage, maybe that was sort of some strange manifestation of that. He was like, I hope. But it sounds good to me.
So the priest actually acknowledged that this could be manifestations of the deities.
He said, why not? I can't think of anything else it could be.
I'm curious why they would come in a tan. You said it was a tan Cadillac or an old tan sedan?
Oh yeah, or like one of those 80s LeBarons, It was something, but it was tan. It was 2-tone tan. It was lighter tan on the body, and then it had one of those like canvas tops. It was so clear. It was like a darker canvas top on the top. I saw it. It's nuts. It was there. It's weird.
So a car that looked like it could be about 15, 20 years old.
Yeah, it looked like an 84 LeBaron or something like that. I've always been a reductionist, a logical positivist, a realist. And there's things that you, with felt presence of immediate experience, can't just say away in those sort of abstract philosophies. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah. No, there's no explanation that you can come up with that's would fit within that sort of rational logical context, other than maybe they were deities.
Yeah,
maybe they were ghosts.
Not when you're not on anything at the time. I was like 19. I don't know what's going on. When you see something as clear as day, as middle of the day, it was like noon. It wasn't like I thought I saw something somewhere in the distance. It was like, oh hi, how are you? Oh my god.
Did the couple interact with you at all? I know they bowed to you.
Yeah, that's all really. They just looked at me, like didn't float up the stairs, literally just walked. Creak, creak, creak. There were little creaky boards too, and like
so there were footsteps.
Yeah, I mean, I was mostly concerned at how fast I could make tea at that point.
But the priest didn't hear anything. The footsteps up the stairs, the gravel.
Oh no, he was checking his email, and I run up the stairs, this clattering tray going. He goes, Timken, what the fuck are you doing? I'm just standing there with this tea, like, ah,
Did the priest actually say
people.
what?
I don't remember. That's my interpretation of what he was thinking.
So back to this couple that you saw. The garb that they were wearing, was it particular to, I mean, you said it was traditional. Is there a particular century that it would be associated with, or was it like a modern day traditional? Does that make sense? Yeah.
Weddings usually use pretty traditional Shinto stuff. There's a thing called a shiromuku, that's the bride's ensemble, and very famously they have this very big white hat or hood called a wataboshi, and it's sort of supposed to be to hide bad spirits that exist in their long hair or something. It's very strange, but that's very, very old, back to the Nara period, maybe, I don't know, 13th 12th century. But there's also more modern clothes that people wear. Sometimes people just do full on Western white wedding dress tuxedo.
So wait, tell me about the spirits in the hair.
Yeah, that was really strange to me too. I never heard that before.
I don't know that much about it. It's more folklore than established like traditional mythology. It's one of those things that's sort of uncertain.
So she was wearing this, the bride, the phantom bride
Right,
that showed up.
The wataboshi.
right.
Okay, so there was nothing about either of their dress that you were like, oh, that looks like it's 16th century instead of 19th century or anything like that.
God, that sort of thing, it could be anywhere in between up to today, I think.
Okay. I guess what I'm grappling with, I really like the idea that they were kami. Is that another word of saying deity would be kami?
Sure, yeah, yeah.
But I don't understand why they would arrive in a Chrysler LeBaron. I would just
You
think
know,
that Mercedes or I don't know, or even a Japanese car. It just seems like kind of a bizarre
I mean,
choice.
that's how it happened. I can't like tell you why.
I am definitely not doubting your story at all. I'm trying to wrap my mind around it. That's all.
I couldn't make it up if I tried to write it as a story. That's what I saw.
Did you ever get any kind of research done after the fact, like to find out if it was possible that they were like an imprint of a previous couple that had come to the shrine and
I
actual
mean,
like
what kind of research are you gonna do without? There's no research. there's no sources other than.
never had that moment of oh, that's a photo of those people. Never had that kind of
No,
fun.
not really. I can give you a couple of really interesting things though that happened while I was there dealing with some famous people though.
Sure.
One of the most interesting things here when I was there was here in Seattle in the University District. There's a statue of Sadako. I don't know if you know Sadako, but she's the Thousand Crane Girl.
Okay, yeah.
Right. In Hiroshima, she got radiation poisoning. She was a real person and had a dream or something where if she had folded 1,000 cranes, she would live, and she got to like 900 something and didn't make it. But there's a statue of her, and my God, it's close to where I live, and every time you walk by, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of cranes draped over it. They had to refurbish it, and the priest went to do a rededication of it. And as a special thing, her actual living brother came to the shrine, and he gave us like one of the only known actual photographs of her. So she's like folk legend status in Japan, so much so that if you ask the average Japanese person, they think that, oh, that's just like a folk story, it's just a myth, it's whatever. It's like Paul Bunyan level of like mythology, but like, oh no, I met her brother. I just have an aside. Years ago, I bought a book from a used bookstore and it's by this Japanese professor at Hiroshima University. It's a very, very boring book. It's about some 19th century German educator or something. It's all in Japanese, but it was signed to someone in England, to another professor of education or linguistics or something like that. And it says, like, this is my book. I hope you enjoy it. Professor, I can't remember his name, August 7th, 1945, Hiroshima University, 2 days before the bomb. He put it in the mail. I have that book. It's crazy. Who knows if he ever survived it?
Oh, wow.
Probably not.
Oh, that's chilling in its own way. Oh, what a find. You just found
50
that in a
cents
bookstore.
at the flea market.
Well, are there any more details that you can remember that you want to share about your experience at the shrine with this wedding couple that appeared?
I think that's as much as I can really detail. That's what happened. It was very, the whole thing until they just literally disappeared was absolutely normal. Well, not normal, but normal as in like oh God, here's people. Oh geez, we got to get stuff ready. Oh, holy crap. Is that real?
You didn't have any feelings of fear or like this is not right?
Other than like, my God, I fucked up my schedule.
Right, but nothing indicating a supernatural experience until after it was proven that, oh, they didn't actually go there.
Oh no, not at all. I mean, they were as real as real. I could see every fiber of every fabric, every hair of them. You know, it wasn't. They were just as real. But there's no way they could have just disappeared from an upstairs place with no exit, a driveway with no exit.
How does the concept of time work in Shinto? It was almost like you saw a sliver from another time, another day or something in the past, just sort of bled over. Is there anything in Shinto that would account for interdimensionality or anything like that?
Interdimensionality. Well,
I guess not.
you know, that's an interesting question. It's really interesting. It deals with the living. You know, like I said earlier, it deals with the now. Like I said, they consider Buddhism to deal with death. Like in like traditional Shinto families, groups, shrines, if you're coming from a funeral, you have to like wash your hands in salt. You have to do all this stuff to purify yourself before you can even go into someone's house. It's just, death is just outside of the realm of being pure. It's cyclical, but not really anything outside of the today, the purification of today. But no, I don't think they have really ideas of dimensionality of stuff. Throughout sort of folklore, things can manifest themselves, but they're not really, you don't expect that to happen.
Right.
It's a rarity. But as far as like the idea of time, though, I'll tell you, one time I asked the priests there, what do you think happens after you die? And he said, I don't know, I haven't done it yet.
Fair.
I like this priest. Well, and the other thing that is interesting, so you heard everything. You heard the car crunching on the gravel. You heard the footsteps as they creaked up the stairs. And yet the priest saw nothing. He heard nothing, even though you would assume that he would have heard them coming up the stairs. It's almost like it was meant for you, if that makes any sense. Have you thought about that at all?
Yeah, I mean, he got really into solitaire sometimes. So
You think he might have just not heard?
I was the apprentice washing the dishes. It was my job to figure out who was driving up to the party. No. I mean, yeah, it was actually, it's pretty warm. It was very sunny. It was a summer day. I think it was maybe July or August. They had all the windows open, so he would have heard. Yeah.
But he didn't.
But he didn't know.
Fascinating.
The other thing I would have to say, if the priest didn't hear anything, you saw and heard and experienced this whole situation, what makes you certain that it happened?
Oh, well, there's there's
epistemology.
And like I said earlier, really, you can go through everything you've ever heard of, ever read, ever known, ever thought of, ever imagined, and ever dreamed. And you can also have the felt presence of immediate experience. Sometimes that's the only thing you can really do. There's a couple of those philosophers that I'm not even going to pretend to remember their names, who had opposing
Locke.
yeah, that lot. Whether you can go one way or the other, where you can only have real knowledge based on experience through learning, or you can only have experience through really being there and seeing it for your own eyes, seeing it, and hearing it and being there. And you can't transfer that knowledge to anyone else. You can only be that experience that you have, right? What are you going to do? That's the philosophical question. You can debate that for the last 300 years or so.
Yeah, you saw it, and you were a very logical, rational, solid-minded person. So you saw it. It must have been there. My question is, has anything like that ever happened to you before or since?
No, not really.
So that's interesting that nothing like this has ever happened to you since that you know of.
No, I've been in spooky places. I don't know, St. Augustine. That's pretty spooky. I think we went there. We went to the lighthouse and all that.
Yeah, we went to the St. Augustine Lighthouse looking for that ghost.
I mean, and I've been in very, very heavy places, if you know what I mean. Just overwhelmingly heavy places, stuff like that. No, I've never. I'm pretty objective, and I try to be very objective in my observations and life in general. I wouldn't say anything anywhere approaching that has ever happened before or since.
That was a really cool story. I appreciate you coming on and telling it.
Well, Diana, I will leave with this one anecdote. There is a photo out there of Tim.
Oh no.
So Tim, I don't know if Diana can tell or not, but you're what, 6'5", 6'7"?
Yeah,
you're pretty tall.
6'5", we'll say.
And you have a Russian musket. Do you still have that thing from World War I?
Yeah, it's what the Russians used from 1898 until after World War II.
So
It's not a Mosin-Nagant rifle. Yeah.
Oh, rifle. Okay, with a bayonet on the end. Let's point.
Oh
that
yeah,
out.
it's about as tall as me.
It is about as tall as you. I've heard that you used to take this to the range, with the powder and
powder. It's not that old. Jeez.
I don't know anything about guns. There's a photo of Tim with this rifle standing next to my Prius, and I love it so much because it's like this perfect juxtaposition of these things that should never meet.
It was the day me and you and Alex decided to make your granddad say, "God damn, that's too loud." And he's like, "Oh my God, that's too loud. That's probably too loud."
You don't fuck with Grandpa.
So this is not the dead one that called you on the phone the other day.
No, that's my other grandfather. My other grandfather called me after he died. That was weird. Yeah, that was fucked up.
Weird.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is we weren't close. I knew him, but I all I could think of was him bumbling around the afterlife and butt dialing me because
butt dialing you in the afterlife. That's that needs to be an album title or a biography.
Well, you're welcome to use it for
subtitle right there. Butt dialed in the afterlife.
Well, Diana, I think do you have anything to add before we sign off here? Because we could go on.
No, that was awesome.
Okay, awesome. Before we start just degenerating into grandpa stories.
Yes, that's what happens. That's called a podcast.
Yes, I like the grandpa stories. I think that was perfect.
A grand podcast.
Tell Alex that one.
Oh my God.
We'll do that. Sorry.
Right.
Made me choke. Well, Tim, thank you so much. This was awesome. Thanks, everybody. That's our show. Please check us out on our website at homespunhaints.com for interesting links that pertain to this story. Also, be sure you subscribe to us on your favorite app. And if you like what you hear, please be sure to leave us a review. We like hearing feedback. You can check us out on Facebook at Homespun Haints. You can also check us out at Instagram at Homespun Haints. And be sure to tag your photos. Hashtag Homespun Haints if you have anything you want us to find. Everyone, that's our show. Thanks again, Tim. That was awesome.
Yay!
Tim, how do you say have a spooky day in Japanese?
今日は怖いでしょう. Like, today is scary.
That was awesome.